Traditions. We all have our own, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah. We decorate, we have presents to open, and no matter how old we are, we still get anxious and excited to open presents. God blesses us with gifts too. They may not be the ones beautifully wrapped. We may not be able to physically touch them. What He gives us are within us. Gifts where we can serve others, make a difference, and ultimately serve Him. But what would happen if our traditions changed? What would happen if our gifts, our talents, were altered or suddenly taken away? The normal holidays erased. Would we accept these changes and still be grateful for the new gifts? My name is Celeste Bowers. I've had many roles in my life, but none more special than being a mom. And tonight, I would like to share one of my most precious gifts, my beloved Christina. Holidays, traditions, normal every routines changed for our family the day before Thanksgiving in 2004. Our 10-year-old daughter, Christina, was diagnosed with PNET, a brain and spinal cancer. How do you tell your 10-year-old they have cancer? Well, Christina and I made a deal. We would never ask, why me? We would say, use me. Use me, Lord, for your name and your glory. We wanted God to use us in a positive and inspiring way. Whatever your faith is, whatever you believe in, we need to find hope in the midst of darkness and pain. Mom, thank you for bringing me into this world. These were the words Christina said to me in the kindest voice as the first round of chemo was being pumped into her body. She thanked me for giving her life. The irony was that she was the one who brought life into my world. It was like those words started the journey, broke down all barriers and put everything into perspective. Thanking me for life as something was entering her body which could have very well robbed her of that same gift. I told Christina, it wasn't me who brought you into this world, it was God. She said, I know, but thanks. In that moment, her life was changed. She was grateful for every moment, and I was so grateful for those moments with her. I saw this time with Christina as a life lesson-filled gift. And in order to share my gift with the world, I wrote a book called If There's a Mailbox in Heaven. I chose this title because I think we can all relate to that ache, that wanting to talk to people after they're not here anymore. I write to Christina in heaven as I share her story. The last chapter, I call them packages that I send. 50 other people write to Christina. They're from all ages, all walks of life. And the most amazing part about that package is that most of these people were inspired by Christina's story alone. They never even met her. They have set high goals for themselves too. They have wanted to become pediatric oncology doctors, nurses, child life specialists, special needs teachers, tough, challenging roads. But Christina's inspired them. They saw what she accomplished at the age of 10, and nothing is going to stop them now, and they know they can't waste time. Christina certainly shows us that life goes by so fast. I used to be the crazy one with the big planner. I had my kids' future all mapped out. High school, scholarships, college. But sometimes when we get so crazy about the far future, We miss out on moments right in front of us. Christina definitely taught me that. The original setting of my book took place when Christina was diagnosed and her journey at Chalk Hospital in Orange County. My friends urged me, though, to start at the beginning, to start when she was younger, because it revealed so much of who she was to become. I was blessed because people helped me look back to those days, to see for myself how things were all tied together for beautiful purpose. Christina was a girly girl in some ways, always dancing, prancing, using a wooden spoon, singing to Mary Poppins Step in Time. She loved all the noise, all the joyful noise. You could also find her on a softball mound or playing football with the boys at recess. She loved being a big sister to her brother Teddy, who was 7 at the time when she was diagnosed. She was Daddy's girl, enjoyed every project that my husband would do with her. The sky was the limit. There were amazing journeys inside and outside of Chalk. Within the walls of Chalk, doctors, nurses, therapists, and child life specialists touched Christina, but she was equally touched by them. So how does a kid who loves joyful noise deal with being in the hospital? Karaoke. Hours of it. 2 hours one time. Hula dancing before her transplant. Whenever it was time for Christina to go to surgery or a procedure, her little brother Teddy would hop onto the gurney and pretend he was steering her. It was his way to be the leader in a place where it seemed like everybody else had to be in charge. We made Teddy a part of everything. As parents, we needed to bring the outside world in, light into darkness. Christina was rarely able to go home, so Teddy made a routine for himself. He had a job. He knew the schedule in the playroom. If Christina was too weak to go, he would play video games and visit with all the kids. He saw past their illness, just as he saw past Christina's. She was his big sister, not a patient. When Christina was on the ventilator in ICU and hooked up to so many monitors, Teddy looked up at the wavelengths and the colors, and he said, "You know what my favorite color is and always will be now?" I said, "What?" He said, "Green." Green, because green is next to Christina's heart. His heart will forever beat with hers. How could it not? In addition to adventures we had in the hallways, and joyful noise in the playroom, we sometimes opened the door to joyful noise right inside Christina's OICU room. We kind of bent the rules when we needed to, especially number of visitors. 40. Yes, 40 Calvary High School soccer girls came in one time. Of course, they scrubbed first. Christina attended Maranatha Christian Academy, the elementary site of Calvary in Costa Mesa. Christina made cookies for the girls that day and wore her own jersey. The team dedicated their season to her. Christina's main sport was softball. She was a pitcher, but she also played soccer. So the plan was she would just play both sports in high school. We were continually blessed with people in our path who had special purpose. That path where joyful noise entered in, but more importantly, the path where hope entered in. An example of this hope and kindness happened on Christmas. No matter how hard we tried, Christina ended up being in the hospital for Christmas too. Nurse Vicky had Christina for one night back in November, before Christina was diagnosed. Vicky normally worked the NICU, taking care of babies. But that one night she got to take care of Christina, and her life was changed in one shift. Christina went unconscious and had to fight her way back. Christina's sweet and tenacious spirit impacted those around her, especially Vicky's. We didn't realize this nurse kept track of Christina's journey even after she was diagnosed. So, the night before Christmas, Christmas Eve, Vicky snuck into Christina's room and had gone shopping for her and bought her lots of toys, lots of gifts. And when Christina woke up Christmas morning, she woke up to this pile of beautifully packages, and Christina was so thankful, so grateful. Everything tied together for beautiful purpose. Nothing is by chance. Vicky was meant to fill in that night on a different floor in November to meet Christina and be part of her journey. As I mentioned before, Christina rarely had the chance to go home, but when she did, she made the most of it. The most memorable experience took place in March 2005. Christina had the opportunity to present an award given in her name at Calvary's varsity soccer banquet to the player who showed the most courage and inspiration that year. Christina was very sick in the hospital, not showing any signs of being able to go home. At 12 o'clock on Thursday, the day before the banquet, one of the doctors came in and said, "Mrs. Bowers, Christina is not ready to go home. But we trust you, and we know what this banquet means." Christina was so excited to get ready for that evening. We were able to shop for a new dress and hat weeks before the banquet. It's easy to take little things for granted in life, like shopping. Shopping with Christina was a whole excursion and a lot of fun. She would be singing in the store to whatever was playing, rocking out, bebop, and dancing, prancing, inside the dressing room, outside the dressing room, just having a good time. Our whole family, along with Christina's 5th grade teacher, drove to the banquet. I remember standing in the far corner of the banquet room with Christina. There was probably 200 people there. And I held Christina's hand. And when we got the signal, Christina pushed my hand away. She knew she had to do this on her own. She had to walk up to that podium on her own, no matter how weak she felt. And with a white blood cell count of 0, but a heart filled with joy, Christina marched up to the front of the room, went up to the podium, and the biggest smile, she said, "I'm Christina Bowers. Thank you so much for letting me be here today. This award, it's not about me. It's about Christ working through me. It's not about me. It's about Christ working through me." Those words still ring loud today. Wherever you guys walk in your own faith, this journey, this story, this legacy, it's not about us. It's so much bigger than us. If it were about us, certain nurses wouldn't have tucked my kid in with a smile and a prayer before they went home to their own kids. Hospital workers would have pulled 12-hour shifts and overnight so my kid could feel safe. Friends, teachers, family, acquaintances would not have changed their schedules to be with us and support us. I have witnessed amazing examples of kindness and compassion. In the quiet of the night, when a nurse thought I was sleeping, I heard her whisper to Christina while she was on the ventilator. I watched Christina's vital signs go up when she heard that sweet voice. I also heard this same nurse singing along with Christina's music, identifying herself when she entered the room, looking Christina straight in the eye, so my daughter would know she was seen as a child, not part of the equipment. I also shared with you how Christina was an athlete. Christina was grateful for all the time she got to play softball and pitch. I had been her coach. And it seemed like after she was diagnosed, she was trying to tell me, "Mom, the game's not on the field anymore. The game's over here now. This is the one. the crucial one, the critical one, the game of life. On May 28th, 2005, when we thought it was time for Christina to go to heaven, I put a softball in her pitching hand. She couldn't talk because she was on the ventilator, but she heard every word I spoke. I leaned in and I said, Christina, you've won. You've won. But she wasn't ready. She had one more inning, one more time to shut down the opponent. Bases loaded, nobody out. People gathered and prayed all across the country. Lives were changed once again. And then on May 29, 2005, Christina won. Not a trophy, not a medal, but the championship game of life. True victory, eternal victory. Christina understood what the game of life meant at such a young age. We all may train for years in our field of expertise. We study hard, our children study hard. All of us demonstrate endurance. One day, though, we all may be placed in game of life situations where it's the last play of the game, and we stay, and we battle, and we set an example. We use those gifts that God has instilled within us and share them with the world. Children give us so much. Their unconditional love, their innocent kindness, endless laughter. It's truly a gift when they teach us. People still ask me, how do you do it? How do you go on after watching your child suffer? First, I share that our children are not our own. They're gifts we get from God for a season. And then I share this simple fact. How could I watch my own daughter play in the game of life with such a sweet, gentle spirit and not play on that same level? It's my turn. It's my turn to play in this game of life. I am so thankful that Mary invited me to be part of such a special event, an event where Calvin and Christina are connected. Nothing is by chance. God weaves us together like beautiful threads. He knew Mary and I would meet, and I pray God continues to use Calvin and Christina mightily. I will be here with my book, If There's a Mailbox in Heaven. I'll be selling it for a discount price of $20. If you'd like to give this as a gift, which many people have given my book as a gift, I'd be happy to personalize it for you. And the first 10 books that I do sell will be donated to Calvin's Foundation. My book is also available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, or you can download it off Kindle. You can learn more about Christina's journey, inside and outside of chalk. You can see how God continually put special people in our path and connected us in a beautiful way. There are examples how God used Christina then and even after she entered heaven. This book is written for all ages and people of all walks of life. I pray that it inspires and encourages you. You can learn and get a closer look at my family, my loving husband Ted, who juggled running a business and took care of his daughter. My son Teddy, who is now in his 3rd year at Colorado State. I call him my unsung hero because he was never in the limelight. He walks courageously in his sister's light and continues to serve others where she left off. If there's a mailbox in heaven, this is the package I send tonight, a package of holiday lights. And when you go outside and look at those lights and you see the color green, remember green is for Christina's heart. It is healed and forever connected to yours. My heart, a mother's heart, is connected as well. How would we ever know compassion without walking through trials and flames, how would we ever know the true meaning of being healed? Happy holidays to all of you. Thank you for this privilege of sharing my daughter, and may God bless all of you. Thank you.
Like I said earlier, I met Celeste through Nicole, and I'm so grateful that I did, because it's so hard to I guess share that connection or have that connection with somebody else, even though it's not something that you would want to have. And being able to talk to her, and obviously we have the unfortunate similarity, but it's great to have somebody that knows more or less what you've been through. It's so important that I have her, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
And vice versa.
Thank you.